Hi, I'm Claire Taylor. I'm the director of programming, and I am so excited, maybe a little too excited, to be joined by the fabulous team of In the Cards, which is playing in our independent pilot competition for SeriesFest Season 7. Welcome, you guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Well, I wanted to jump right into questions because it's kind of a short time frame, and I could definitely talk to you guys all day, but we'll save that for the festival. But my favorite question to ask right at the start is to help our audiences get to know where this project came from. So, what was the genesis of this project? Colin, do you want to try to take that one?
Yeah. So like I knew that I had made a feature before and I knew that the next big project I did, I really wanted to do something about that part of our culture where some people get away with stuff and other people don't.
Hmm.
And I like definitely come from a point of view that we're living in a horrible dystopia. We don't need dystopian fiction to see that. And I was really fascinated by this story about or sort of running series of stories about psychic scammers. They seem to be like very popular. One year the New York Times was constantly talking about them, and that really struck me because the New York Times is also constantly reporting about people who were huge fucking liars who were doing great, and who were not regarded as criminals but were regarded as heroes or presidential candidates, etc.
Mm.
And that inequality got me really excited as a writer. Um, and so I checked out some psychic shops, and I was very interested in the sort of person who did it. It's not a great thing to do, to scam people out of money, but for the most part, it's being done by people who are kind of stuck in the position where that's the best way for them forward. And I think that's true about most people doing what they do. They're going with the best way forward. So I was really excited to write a character who was starting from a place that most of us would agree is not like an ideal moral scenario. But when you think about it, that's not too different from a lot of jobs. A lot of things that you get hired to do, the money doesn't come because you're doing something great. It's because you're providing value to somebody else who might be doing something pretty bad with it. So throwing a character who is considered bad, but like is actually operating in a like moral gray area at other people who are considered good, they have the money, but are generally also operating in a very moral gray area, was fun to me and ripe for comedy and drama.
Amazing. I mean, Eleanor, you get to play the anti-hero, and we don't get to see that from a female perspective very often. Can you talk about what it was like to play Dina?
Yeah, it was a thrill, and I kind of joined the project like very last minute. So I was finding her as we were shooting, which was really fun. I mean, you find your characters at different points, and obviously you'd love to find them before you start shooting, but it wasn't possible during this for this project. But I think the characters I'm most interested in playing are the ones that are, it's that are human, that are flawed, and that are, I mean, like all of us, operating from our brokenness and either pushing against it, moving with it, or breaking through it. Like it's all of those things. And so for me, the way I kind of got into Dinah, I wasn't thinking about how she was a bad person. I don't think she's bad. I think she's trying to survive. I think she there's some kind of optimism in her that I think is really inspiring. And I think I was going from a place of trying, like she's trying. Like the world has not given her uh, a good hand, and I do intend that pun. And so fucking with that hand, like using it and trying to survive and trying to reach this dream of the Hamptons.
Yeah. The dream of the Hamptons. I love that.
Everybody's dream.
Oh, that's so it's very interesting to think about like that morally gray area. And definitely something that's not gray is the production design. I mean, it's so rich on screen and enjoyable and kind of delicious to look at. Um, can you guys talk about the influences on the overall design of the sets and the costumes?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one huge influence is just like how New York actually looks. Um, because New York is kind of like not a colorful place. It's a place where like I don't know, like a lot of different places have been renovated white because they want to appeal to the most people. And like it's a place where the side everything outside is literally gray. But then like people and characters in New York City will bring so much color and pizzazz to what they wear, and like bringing those things together, like Dinah standing out in a big gray New York landscape was one of my favorite things about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan did such an incredible job to make the places we inhabited feel real,
Yeah.
which I loved. And then for me, in terms of costume and makeup, because I was coming in hot, we had a day to kind of just go shopping and find Dinah's outward look, and that was incredibly helpful for me in order to start finding her. It's just like, okay, so she this idea of luxury and how do you achieve it with no money, and playing with style and non-style, and what one thinks is high class, low class, all of that. So playing in that world of kind of style, high low, was exciting to me.
Well, those
Uh,
shoes become their own character. I feel like that it's like the shoes played by needs to be like in the credit. Wow, you had such chemistry with those shoes.
it was such a treat. It was such a treat. Also because I never wear heels, and so like truly, when you wear shoes, obviously affect the way you walk and talk, as it turns out. But it one simple thing can change everything. And so like having these high boots was such a dream. It was like, there's Dinah. Okay, I'm here. And oftentimes it was so funny. I think it was like the first day of shooting. Allie Rose, the costume designer, she was like, here, like take off your shoes. And I'm like, no. She was like, okay. Just because it felt so, am I screaming? It feels like I'm screaming.
You're not screaming.
um,
Passionate.
I'm excited about shoes. Yeah, so I liked keeping, the shoes, it was such a dream. It really was. And it's such a simple thing, but that was Dinah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honor, I think, said on something like the first day of set, Dinah wears high heels no matter what the situation, whether it's inappropriate or appropriate, whether it's dangerous, safe, it doesn't matter. Dinah wears heels. And Allie Rose ran with that so hard and had so much fun with it, bringing all these different heels that Dinah would wear in different situations. And the effect that it had is that Dinah, we also had a fairly short cast, I think, overall. And then Eleanor's always in heels, and it gave Dinah, she's the tallest person in every scene because she's always in heels. And it's just, that's one of those magic things. Like, I wouldn't have written that for the character, but then we found it.
Yeah.
And we have 4 episodes of content, which is unusual. And we want to make more. I always want her to be like one of the tallest people in the scene, if not the tallest. I think it's just going to be something that we'll always go with, and it just happened because of a quick choice that Eleanor made.
Yeah, I think it's so great. And then truly finding, if we get to make more, finding a new character and how she uses heels similarly but different. So like a different style, but still, like, what does Dinah look like with pants on? I don't know if we'll ever know, but the real question is, what heels is she going to wear with these pants? You know, like that's a thrill. That's a thrill to just think about. I think by the end of it too, I remember when we were shooting in the Hamptons. I don't know if this is in any of the episodes, but it got to the point where I was so comfortable in those heels that there was a point where I'm like, should I climb up these rocks? I should, right? Like and it was no problem, which saying that now, I'm like, don't do that. That's terrible. But at a certain point I was, you know, like I was in it and I knew what I could and couldn't do in them. And apparently I can climb a mountain in them. So.
You embodied the character. Well, I was going to ask if there, you know, what's in the future, what's in the cards, if you will, another pun for Dinah. And it sounds like she makes it to the Hamptons.
Yeah. So
we
did. No, you're good. You're good.
It's okay.
This is for the special Q&A people. We want secrets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did an unusual thing. We came out and we made, we were format agnostic. We made a project that we thought was going to be a feature, but we knew it could end up being a series. And we were looking at the market. We did not know a global pandemic was going to affect that market. That one was a surprise for us. You know, so it's a series now, and I don't think it's ever, it's home. It's correct. So what we have is 4 episodes. So we are going to, they're going to come out. This is a rare pilot where you know you're going to see more of this character. We don't know when we're releasing those. We don't know who we're going to do that with. But there's 3 more episodes after this one that are in the can, and that's what's in the cards. So,
I'm like so excited. I feel like a lemur. That's
yeah.
amazing.
So Dinah does get to the Hamptons in episode 4, which you know, I guess, I think if, you know, anybody who knows how things tend to go for characters in comedies, you know, the Hamptons does not turn out to be everything she dreamed of.
Right. Well, we're so excited to see more. Again, my eyes lit up at the thought of 3 more episodes, and it's just such a thrill to have in the cards in the lineup, and see the adventures of Dinah, the anti-hero in the most epic heels. Thank you both so much, and congratulations on being an official selection, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you for having us on your program.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.